Good evening, everyone. This is Neil with the Dastardly Gentleman, welcoming you to the Dastardly Gentleman podcast. With me, I have Frank. Say hi, Frank.
Hi, everybody.
Hurrah, praise.
Hurrah, please.
So now we're going to talk about media and fake news.
Fake news is best news.
So I've been listening a lot lately to people bitching about news not reporting facts.
Yeah.
Is that not what the news or the media's job is?
Here's the thing, though. We have in office right now a president-elect whose loose association with the truth has been kind of like rather damaging to the nation as a whole right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have the man in the highest echelons of power being like, there were fucking millions of voter fraud bullshit. It was unbelievable. I would have won the popular vote if all these people weren't a bunch of fucking liars. Show me, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Show us, the evidence of that. I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. So, you have the media. Same thing. They're like, let's just make shit up. Why not? Everyone else can do it. I mean, I said this like 2 months ago whenever we were talking about it, that it was gonna set a horrible precedent for the future where you're gonna have people that are no longer culpable to the shit that comes out of their mouths.
Yeah.
Like, well, news was fake. I mean, and then you have the rise of social media news. That's a terrifying thought. It's like news brought to you by 4chan, and some idiots are actually like being like, it's totally true. It's totally true.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, when did that happen? When did it get all distorted? I mean, there was a time when, news and media reported facts and nothing but the facts.
2015. I mean, like, you could almost timestamp it.
You think so?
We're like, I do, because 2015 was the year where everybody found something to be offended about, and it seemed like it was all social media engineering, and everybody, there was always like, because I don't remember before then seeing like a bunch of the news articles where you would have like basically clickbaity type articles everywhere. And I don't remember that before then. And then you had, the real hardcore rise. I mean, like, I know it had been around for a long time, but like the real hardcore rise of Twitter and being like almost like a medium between the average media consumer and the outlets and the people who are supposedly in power that would just make shit up. And people be like, it's totally true. Fact check it. I mean, 2016 was the year of fact checking. So, started in 2015, went in 2016.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, like...
It's all bad.
Yeah, it probably reached its peak in 2015. But I did a little bit of research, and I don't remember the exact year, but it was in the 90s. There was a bill that passed that allowed certain networks to monopolize, which is stupid. I mean, that goes against everything free trade stands for. But that's how you have like 6 guys running, 10 to 20 different TV channels now. And they all have their own news channels. You got CNN, you got Fox News, you got all of them. The only channel that just reports exactly what's going on at any given time in government is C-SPAN. And they literally just turn the cameras on and let you watch an entire session in Congress. And who has the time to sit there for 3 hours watching people voting yay or nay on a bill that doesn't matter? You gotta sit there and let me just go to my calendar and this is an important bill. I'm gonna mark the time on my calendar and watch this 3-hour broadcast. Nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah, you're like, man, I sure hope that I get home in time in order to be able to catch that congressional hearing. Nobody.
But yeah, before that, we had 20, 30 different news channels. And all different languages.
that like almost seem to like hold themselves not so much to a standard so much as like, you know, to an unspoken expectation that the truth is what's important. And now it doesn't really feel like the truth is really all that important anymore. It's more like, you know, what has the most interesting spin.
It's become entertainment. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not reporting what's actually happening. It's basically how can we shock you? How can we get you to watch us? Because real life is really fucking boring. Let's put a spin on it and make it like okay. For example, the other day I walk into work and they have this TV on the first floor in the lobby, and it always has CNN on. What does the headline say? This may not be word for word, but it said something like this. It said, certain political figures staying at Trump Tower. Are they looking for special treatment?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like there's like what was this like a slow news day? You're like we're just I feel like you're just looking for shit now.
like,
You know?
like, why? That's not news. That's not even reporting a fact. That's, hey, we think maybe, perhaps, they might be getting special treatment. Let's fucking start a conspiracy on
Yeah.
on just nothing.
That's some like from downtown kind of like you know conspiracy be like no it's like you know that's just shy of being like you know man stops to tie his shoes in front of Trump Tower must have voted for Trump
Seriously.
or you know stops to tie his shoes in front of Trump Tower must hold the secrets to Benghazi in the deleted emails.
And,
That's where we're at now. That's the level of truth that we're facing.
and that's the thing too. Like, they might be right. They might be right that those people are actually searching for special treatment. But you can't report shit you don't know.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just because you think it might be true doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, you shouldn't fucking scare the populace like that.
You can't call these people lobbyists because they had to stand in the lobby in order to get up to the hotel room, you know? That's not what that means.
So yeah, I mean, like,
It's no good.
everything is, we use the term clickbait like crazy, but everything is bait. It's like, nobody watches, well, I'm sure they would if it were available, but nobody watches the news anymore to see what's going on in the world. They watch the news now because shit's going crazy and they want to like eat popcorn and watch the news, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's weird because, you know, I do remember like back in the day whenever like news was pretty dry and it was just like, you know, just the facts, ma'am, all Dragnet style.
yeah.
But now you have, you know, everybody with their own, you know, like we said, political take on it. And it sucks whenever like you have the news, but then you have to go and you have to fact check the news when the news is supposed to have already done that.
Yes.
The news is already supposed to have vetted this and been like, this is the truth as far as we're aware of it. And they're not doing it. I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, it's like whenever like I open up CNN and, you know, okay, tell the truth, shame the devil. I CNN because it's the first one I think of, and it's the easiest one to type with one hand in the morning whenever I'm trying to wake up. And I just see like, you know, did the White House blow up yet? You know, like I mean, like, are we at war with someone yet? It's only been like a couple of weeks. He's probably got like another month, and then we'll see it happen. But
Yeah.
you know, and I'm reading some of these articles, and it's clearly liberally leaning, but like it's so blatant about it in both like the televised news and on the website that it's like I don't know. I really wish that they would draw a line on like articles that are clearly op-ed and then articles that have some sliver of truth to them.
Yes.
I just want a little, you know, just a little taste of what the truth used to taste like. Taste of the taste.
I know what you're talking about, and you know what? I don't know where it went. You ask journalists nowadays, and I've seen journalists being just as pissed off about the situation as, you know, the people wanting the information are, and they basically say, hey, if we want to keep our jobs as a journalist, we need to report shit quick. I mean,
Yep.
we're talking, this is, you know, the day and age of the internet, and information comes at you lightning quick. If you're not the first one to even speculate on something, somebody else is going to jump in there and do it before you do, and they're going to get the scoop. And since they do that, anything I write on top of that is considered plagiarism. I have to start, using source or not source checking. I have to cite my source as being him, or else I'll be labeled as a plagiarizer. So
Yeah.
you gotta be first, and because you gotta be first, you're gonna fucking put shit out there that isn't true or sensationalize, or you're just gonna throw some things in you think might be true. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna take some educated guesses.
yeah. Otherwise,
But you know what?
yeah.
You know what I love though? I love that idea of being like, like the president looks at a guy a little bit too long.
He's an assassin.
You just start making shit up, like right on the spot, being like, he's one of Trump's several love affairs. I mean, like it's back there, it's happening. He probably sat on the golden toilet.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it sad, is that it's probably not that far from the truth, where like you have a room full of journalists that are just like, you see them scanning the room being like, what can I make up?
Well, that's the thing too. Is like, okay, so they'll look at a situation. They'll think, okay, it's newsworthy, to them anyways. People are gonna want to watch this or want to read this, but I don't have the full story. In fact, the story is like Swiss cheese. I got holes in it like crazy. Let me just fill in the blanks with what I think.
Yeah. I mean, and that's where it starts to really kind of like skirt the line between like an op-ed and an actual news article. And I think that a lot of people anymore, if you ask them what the difference was between a news article and an op-ed, I don't think they could tell you.
Yeah.
Because at this point, at this juncture in our nation's media coverage, there is almost no difference anymore.
Pretty much.
Everything is so jaded in one direction or another, it's just unbelievable. Like there's no clearly concise, like, these are the sources that say this, these are the stats that prove it, and just, objective fact finding. Whereas just, this is what happened. They almost don't see it anymore. It's always like, they present you with facts or tidbits of statistics, and then they interpret it for you. And it's like, you're not really reporting anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of giving a social ovation, and that's not really what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Hell, I can do that.
I mean,
One of two people who drop a pencil are going to become a serial killer. Maybe. I don't know.
yeah. Basically, I mean, that's okay. And we're talking honest journalists at that point. Honest. We're talking people that are just doing this for a living, okay? Now let's talk about people that are purposefully spreading bullshit.
The Lord's work of dishonesty. I mean, like, please tell me we're going to talk about the InfoWars guy.
Which one? No, I didn't write that one.
No,
Tell me.
Again, I don't even know his name. Oh my god, I've only seen him a couple of times, but I see these stickers all over town where these people have like InfoWars, and I assume he's just scooped up the saying from the X-Files, the truth is out there. And this guy, like, I've seen like 3 or 4 little videos. He does kind of like a podcast. He comes up with some of the most unbelievable shit. And he just absolutely touts it as being the God's honest truth, like the gospel. And he gets himself so worked up about it. And he's so pumped up about being fucked up, basically.
Yeah.
More like you got like the Comet Pizza thing that just happened. Did you read about that?
No.
The Hillary Clinton child sex abuse ring?
What?
Okay, now listen. Follow me with this,
Okay.
all right? This is literal fake. This is exactly what we're talking about. So, someone on social media makes a little comment that in the emails that WikiLeaks sent out, they talked about pizza a bunch of times. So then they associated that with the Comet Ping Pong Pizza place in Washington, D.C., where someone said that Hillary Clinton and her Joe Padiz, I can't remember his last name, were working together to make a child sex slave selling ring in the basement of this pizza place. And then this guy went on and he was freaking out about it and being like, they're kidnapping these babies and they're gonna rape them in the basement. And like, first of all, the place didn't have a basement apparently. And so that's funny all by itself. But like it got propagated to such an extent that a guy went in there with an assault rifle. He didn't kill anybody. He went in there with an assault rifle to try to save the children. I'm not even fucking kidding. This guy literally bought this shit so hard from Twitter. From Twitter, that he went in with the intention of rescuing children, and now he's going to jail. He's got 2 kids. He's like my age. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Did you mean? I don't even have anything. I don't know. Like, and then this, like I said, this InfoWars guy is like, she's got this sex ring and she's just working against the country, and he just the absolute most horrifying vitriol strewing out of this guy. And then you got this thing. This is one of those moments where you can say that social media has managed to generate so much fake news. And some of the people who buy it, I don't even understand how they're even still alive. Like, how does this, like, so this guy, God bless him for his heart being in the right place, but doing it in the dumbest fucking way possible.
Right.
I mean, did you not consider hanging out for a little bit? Seeing if maybe any of it was true before you decided to, go all fucking SWAT team on the place?
Right.
But I mean, it's like 2016. I mean, I don't know. Why do people just take all this stuff for face value? I got my news from Twitter. I mean, when did Twitter become like a vetted news source?
Never. I mean,
ever. I mean, it's awful.
Well, I mean, you see Trump tweeting every 20 minutes about random bullshit that doesn't matter. And he even tweeted not too long ago, if the media were a reliable source, I might use them, but until then I have Twitter. Like, you think you could really give out news in 140 characters at a time? Like, that's what you have a press secretary for.
Yeah, and I wish that the press secretary would take his goddamn phone from him.
Yes.
Just like, Mr. Trump, you can't be trusted with this.
But yeah, that thing you're saying with the InfoWars guy.
I would have won the popular vote if it wasn't for all those Mexicans in California. I'll get the last laugh when the wall goes up. I don't know why he turned into George C. Scott.
I don't know, man. But yeah, like, okay, you remember that thing with Carly Fiorina? She was the...
the Hewlett-Packard candidate. She hooking them babies.
Yeah. It was... you could almost blame her exclusively for that Planned Parenthood clinic getting shot up. Like,
oh, yeah. I mean, she might as well have been like, if you love Jesus, you go fuck these people up.
Basically, yeah. And she was like making shit up. Like,
yeah,
she had people make up a video.
Yeah, I mean, she was basically out there being like, it's unbelievable the kind of cruelty that they do to these children. You got Hong Dang in the back with his chef's cap on and a big old bloody apron, and he pulls out that 2-year-old and he just starts whacking him to pieces. Just whacking that baby to pieces and just spreading them all over the walls. What the fuck are you talking about?
We got
the lady, like the shit she was saying was insane. Yeah. I mean, like they're talking like partial birth abortions, and we're not talking like, like late first term. We're talking like third term. Like the baby is looking around the womb going like, oh, it's kind of nice in here. And then like for some reason, like, she's just like painting this picture of like the doctor having like the specula in this hand and a Freddy Krueger glove in this hand and being like
basically. And she's like, we need to harvest its brain, or that's what they said on the tape.
Yeah, they harvest their brains. I'm like, probably not.
Yeah, what?
Not a lot of value in that.
So yeah, okay. So as far as spreading fake bullshit, you've got the Macedonian kid made $60,000 writing fake articles during the election for riling up Trump supporters, basically.
Here's the thing. You can't tell the difference whenever it comes to like Trump and Trump supporters and shit like that, where it's like, President-elect Trump says this. Probably did. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
the shit that comes out of his mouth, I mean, you can't ever tell like what he's actually saying is true or not.
You might as well just like, if you're gonna make some money off of it, like, I mean, 60 grand,
yeah.
60 grand isn't a lot of money, but if you're like a 17-year-old kid, I mean,
That's a fucking lot of money.
I mean, if you're talking like news networks, it's not a lot of money. But if you're just a single person making up a news website on your own because you know HTML, fucking making 60 grand just by getting all the traffic by spreading bullshit. I mean, that's on a pretty small scale, though. You look at somebody like Ann Coulter, for example. She writes books and goes on news shows and basically promotes hatred. Like, that's her job, and everybody says it's a front at this point. Like, even celebrities.
I saw her videos, and I'm just like, you can't be real.
No, she's not. Everybody that knows her, apparently, like even comedians and pundits and stuff, they're like, she's not really like that. She's doing it to get attention, and it's working.
Absolutely. And like, I saw her attempt at the celebrity roast, and that she was freaking out and making a big deal about it because she wasn't funny. And they're like, well, if they'd have played the whole thing, then it would have been funny. And then the editors are like, no, we actually edited a lot out so that it would be not as terrible as what it was. And it was still a train wreck. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, she's not funny. Not only is she not funny, she's also not very intelligent. I mean, like, just listening to her talk normally is, physically abrasive.
And that's the thing. You say she's not intelligent, but she's doing it on purpose.
That doesn't make you fucking intelligent. No. That just makes you go, what can I do to make a bunch of attention?
How can I...
Take a shit on the salad bar at Wendy's. Like, people will be looking at me the whole time.
But she's basically exploiting people's fears to line her fucking pockets. That's not the trait of a dumb person. It's just a trait of a despicable person.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be smart to be despicable. I mean, I feel like preying on people's fears was the overall campaign slogan for both parties during the 2016 election.
True. Yeah, that's very true.
I don't think there was a single fear untouched. I mean, the only one that they probably didn't do was that right now there are probably spiders in your shoes. Like that. But I'm sure that if we gave it like another couple of weeks, they probably have been saying that too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, anything to get views at that point.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you click on this link and Trump will kill a baby. Watch the Republican frontrunner just throw a big old torch right inside of Planned Parenthood.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, we've been picking on, or at least I have been pointing out the conservative media quite a bit, especially with Ann Coulter.
It's everybody, but I mean, like, it's easiest with them right now because the conservative frontrunner is kind of the worst one about it.
No, I mean, and I won't lie. I mean, I think you and I, well, we're kind of different on this. I lean more liberal than I do conservative, but the thing is liberals are so bad now too. You look at, I used to watch John Oliver and Bill Maher all the time. Okay. And I thought their shit was funny, and I fell for it, and I bought into their shit as well. I mean, for the most part, they're telling the truth and they're making light of it. That's cool. But especially recently, like especially in the last few months, when they got very heavy on anti-Trump, they started cherry picking. They started ignoring shit that Hillary was doing. It's like, you can't, like Bill Maher, for example, he said something along the lines of, we're sick of hearing about the emails, it's not that big a deal. Dude, it's a huge fucking deal. Like, you can't.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
You can't just sit there and downplay her major fucking flaws. I mean, yeah, you have plenty of good, valid reasons to hate Trump, but you can't just sit there and say Hillary is a goddamn angel. No. You can't.
And that was kind of the feeling that where I read an article, I think it was still through CNN, but where it said that 2016 was the year that late night took a side. Where up until this point, on all the election stuff, previously, It was just sort of like no holds barred, just make fun of everybody, and that way you don't piss off any particular group.
Right.
But then, like, Trevor Noah and John Oliver and Bill Maher and even, like, Jon Stewart after he left, I mean, they were all so severely anti-Trump that, it went into everything. And, they super duper cherry picked, where she did some exceptionally questionable things. And, Blue, I mean, that's not that big of a deal. But look at this racist, though. Look at this xenophobe. He's afraid of other people. Okay. I mean, like, at this point, 90% of the world's pissed off at us. I mean, like, we're kind of like, there's not necessarily a bad reason for that. But then, like, well, how about we talk about the emails aren't that big of a deal.
You sure?
I don't think you know what that means. You use that word.
So, yeah, it's everywhere. I mean,
it is. It's because people have people that up until this point have decided to more or less. I mean, like late night, you can't really hold them to because they're more entertainment than actual news. But like they at least don't necessarily lie. But they are technically not lying, but it's still falsehood by omission.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of news right now. Isn't so much that. Well, actually, no, I can't even say that because a lot of them just are lying. Or, they're deciding to omit parts that are kind of relevant.
Right. Absolutely. The kind of relevant parts are... I mean, I can only imagine what they're thinking of, like, when they see this shit happening. Like, they really, really don't want Trump to win. But they're like, God damn, Hillary keeps on fucking up left and right. We can't report this shit. Trump might win.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I know. I mean, I realize that, like, I sympathize because, like, you got the guy, and you're terrified of the prospect of him winning. So then, whenever, like, Hillary, like, majorly gets caught with like a whole shoe up her asshole, like, you're like, I don't want to talk about this because it's gonna make like, it's like, well, Trump may not have been paying his taxes. Like, well, Hillary may have deleted or sold a bunch of emails to foreign powers. I think Trump's gonna have sex with his daughter. I mean, like, it's where, like, you're really kind of like, please don't, like, WikiLeaks is like, Hillary sent all these emails to foreign powers. People are lobbying with Trump. Please.
yeah.
It's awful. I mean, yeah. Ted Busto.
And you know what's the bad thing is, I mean, that's all bad, but
yeah,
like you get somebody like Stephen Colbert, for example, and he put on a great show during the actual election night show that he did, and he had a great speech at the end. He's like, look, I know a lot of you are really scared right now, and I understand, but guess what? We're a united country. We're gonna come together, and we're gonna just don't spew hatred towards each other, because that's the last thing we need to do. We need to come together. Mm-hmm. And it was great. And then the very next day, he's shitting on Trump. Like,
yeah, it's like, well, that didn't take real long, did it?
Like, shit.
I mean, at the same time, though, it's sort of like his job is to make fun of, news stories and stuff. And right now, because of the election of the cabinet and all the first 100 days, that's going to be the majority of news articles, especially since most of the country, well, I should say most of the media is sort of like still in kind of, because he actually won.
Yeah.
And so they're still trying to kind of like come, I think a lot of media is still trying to come to grips with that Trump actually is in office now. And I think that's probably why there's so many articles, and because all the shit he's doing is still terrifying, but I don't even know. So it's disheartening and it's terrifying, and the fake news is sometimes not as terrible as the real news.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I hate, like, you get like a little article on Twitter with somebody's like, posts, and it ends up being fake news where it's something super positive that's happened in the Oval Office, and you're like, oh, sweet. Oh. My disappointment.
So one of the things I was thinking, and this was all over Reddit, even though Reddit sensationalizes just like anybody else, but
Oh yeah.
any other news source, and I don't even really call them a news source, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's a collection of things. They were basically saying, okay, well, we're all at agreement that media and news is complete bullshit, and it's all run by corporate fat cats, and they have bias one way or another because they're getting paid if things go their way.
Mm-hmm.
What are people going to turn to for their actual factual news? Is there a place to turn, for one, and for two, what's going to happen to the current news stations? I mean, are they going to fade away? I don't think so.
We could only hope.
I mean,
They got to send a Raven.
as long as people keep on watching, they're going to keep on broadcasting, and people are going to keep on watching because they love reality bullshit. And reality bullshit, I mean, you look at Dancing with the Stars, you look at Jersey Shore, and all this other shit. It's all live, real reality / scripted TV. People love that shit, and I don't know why.
I don't even know what any of that is.
It's just like the Real World. You remember the Real World? It's like you put a bunch of people in a house and see how they get along. And that concept sounds really fucking boring. But when you watch it, it's like, oh, they're getting into fights all the time, and they're arguing, and race is getting brought up all the time, and this, that,
And they all have they all get all mad at each other.
yeah.
And they all start fucking.
And
now it's cool again.
But there's this a song by Tool called Vicarious, and one of the things he says or Maynard says is, I want to watch things die from a good safe distance. Like, you basically live your life vicariously through your TV set. So you see all these people doing shit and getting into hijinks in their
hijinks, butt stuff.
in their situations and stuff, and you get to live with them like a fly on a wall. So you don't have to suffer any of the consequences, and you can cheer with them when they're having their successes. But I don't know. I mean, how does that apply to news? Like,
I feel like it's actually. I mean, if you think about the Real World, it's actually pretty apropos because you can the house full of people that are all fighting and shit. They're all arguing and all of that kind of crap, and then it's tonight on the Real World, Trevor and Daryl start fighting over Bonnie's affections. While they're fighting outside, Bonnie's inside fucking Tyrone. I mean, that's basically the news.
Yeah.
CNN and Fox News are fighting for your attention. Meanwhile, you're inside sending a Raven. Or you're inside checking your Twitter feed, and it's even fucking worse. Looking for your news on Reddit.
yeah, basically, that's what I'm doing, and it's
I know
bad
you
there
do.
too.
That's terrible.
It doesn't matter where; it's bad everywhere now.
Because but there's a difference. See, at least whenever, you're getting your fake news from CNN, you're getting it from Anderson Cooper's, glassy blue eyes and fantastic, just waxed white hair and nice suit. You're not getting it from, XX Super Saiyan XXX, and he tips his fedora and goes, "These guys are gonna love this story. I'm gonna make this shit up right now." And then, whenever, your house comes crashing down of all the faux logic and you're wandering around and Comet ping pong shooting at people for fucking babies, he's going to be going, "My lady."
Look, I think you're over-exaggerating a little bit. When it comes to Reddit...
But probably not that much, really.
No, honestly, when it comes to Reddit, for the most part, I don't know. They'll post shit, and you're not allowed to, especially in the politics section, you're not allowed to post shit and like change the title or change anything about it. You have to post it exactly from the source that you got it. So that's, I mean, if you change it at all, it gets removed. That's step one. Step two is it has to be, it's moderated. I mean, you get these moderators that look at it and say, okay, is this valid? Is this actually not a load of shit? Okay, it can stay. Problem with that is that sometimes A, moderators might have bias themselves,
Oh yeah.
and B, they just might not know.
Or they're having an off day, they're not feeling good, they don't really care.
Yeah.
And just let shit slide, you know?
So yeah, I mean,
Or they think it's funny and it's satire and people clearly are gonna think this is a joke.
nope, it's real.
They're gonna go shoot up Comet Ping Pong. I love that fucking name.
Comic book ping pong.
When Comic Ping Pong.
Okay.
Comet.
Comic ping pong.
Okay. Totally left field. When Star Citizen comes out, Comet Ping Pong is gonna be the name of my ship.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tell me. I don't understand what you mean when you say comet ping pong. Tell me.
It's the name of the pizza place.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
That was supposedly selling sex babies.
Oh.
They're having spooky Halloween in the basement.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, that's a podcast, folks. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you like what you heard, please rate, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, donate on Patreon if you really liked us. And we'll have a new podcast out pretty soon. And as a closing statement from Frank and I, please check your sources. Don't believe everything you read. Don't get your news from Facebook.
If it says, like, you wouldn't believe what happened, it's probably not true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like, just keep on scrolling when you see shit like that.
Yeah, don't even click on it. Don't even click on it because fuck them. They're making shit up anyway.
Yeah, every time you click on that shit, they get a nickel.
Yeah, they get a nickel. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, so don't give in. Be strong.
See it go. It's a thick day.
Yep. All right. Until next time, folks. See you later.
Bye.